Okay, so here we go. Lots of noise pollution. As soon as I hit record, the cooling unit in our house kicked on, so it's going psh, and there's a creature in the streets constantly growling. Not ideal. Also, judging by all of this, how I refuse to remove anything after I've used it in a video, you can get an idea of what my room is like. This is dang dusty. I wanted to record some, just because I haven't in a while. Today's the last day for relative peace and quiet, or at least I thought it was gonna be, because usually my family is off working in the mines right about now, so they're still home. So hopefully they won't be all up in here clomping around, because the walls here are paper thin, despite being made out of straight up rock. Look at my ADD. Clicky clicky. Is that ADD or ADHD? Today, look, I'm being more expressive. Woo! Today is another loot look. It's time to look at loot. Why? Because that's the easiest thing to record, honestly. To do another Shantae video would be to actually turn on my Switch and get all the way to Watertown and then start. And I don't know. I have more an easier time just talking about random items that I can pull off the shelf than talking about video games. Look at that. It's like a little water ripple effect. Anyway, today it's gonna be shorter, hopefully, because I don't have as much of this stuff that I'm gonna be looking at. And what is that stuff? You're not asking? Controllers. I like controllers a lot, just because they got like different feelings in the hand, and they got all the moving bits and the clicky clickies, except this one's real squishy. I'm gonna start here because this is the oldest one, and then I'm gonna move on up in the world chronologically and end with the neatest one that I have. Here's a sneak peek. That's all I get. So this is an Atari controller. Let's see if I can. The Space Age joystick. It's just a joystick that you can hold like this, like a gun. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm not a large person. My hands are just squishy. Back at the Tinker Shop, once I worked there was a rule that if a controller that was semi-third party, I kind of broke this rule. If it was a third party controller that didn't work, people just end up chucking it. So if it was third party didn't work, we could just yoink it and bring it on home. I'm sure the big boss man didn't like that, but the managers made that rule to keep everyone happy and morale up and stuff. But I guess morale doesn't matter to the big boss man. He surely didn't care about my morale. Anyway, so I do believe I tested this out right before. Look at that. That's the Atari plug. Cool, right? It goes like this. It goes into the back of the console, like some weird action. Oh, that was weirder when I said it like that. My bad. I do believe this does not work. It doesn't even make any sound. Cool beans, right? The coolest of beans. This isn't the neatest controller I have, but it's still pretty neat. There were a lot of controllers that I had stashed away at the Tinker Shop that I never got to purchase because I just walked on out. Moving up. Here's the first controller that I legally purchased from the Tinker Shop. All of these are from there. Because that's just how it works, isn't it? This is for the NES. Look at the plug. There's the plug. That's an NES plug. Got this because it's real dang tiny. Look at it compared to that. Unfortunately, I don't have a banana for scale. This is from, it's a Nex controller, as you can see right there on the shiny sticker. This is from a Famiclone as they call it. A clone of the NES. But look, the buttons are nice. It's got shoulder buttons for some reason. The NES did not have shoulder buttons. It just had these and a D-pad. But here's your select and your start and your A and B and your D-pad and your shoulder buttons that I don't remember why they're there. But I don't have an NES, just as I don't have an Atari. I just have the controllers because they're neat. Moving on. Another NES controller. Right here, the Quick Shot. It's quite dirty. Look at that 1080p dirt. Why haven't I cleaned it? Because I'm both lazy and I don't have an NES, so why would I clean it when I'm not gonna use it? It's got this neat little round trackpad type thing. It's a bit clicky. I think this is the A button and the B button. This thing needs to be opened up and cleaned out. Here's a rocker for your start and select. Your auto fire, which I know that needs to be cleaned out because see how it slides like that? It should click. You want to focus? Thank you. Let's see, you'd hold it like this and probably like this and it would be a good time. Look at that. Innovative. Even though chronologically my neatest controller, there it is again, would be up next. I'm still gonna say that for last. And next, right now, is a Genesis controller. Look at that. It's the same kind of plug as the Atari. I think it's actually a little different. I don't know. So got the ASCII pad SG6. It's got all sorts of little knobs and switches and things. I have no idea what these switches are for. The cooling unit's gone. Happy days. I have a thing for ASCII controllers because ASCII is the graphical style of old roguelikes, including the game Rogue, and that makes me go, haha. Yes, quite fond of ASCII-ware. Focus on it, see? It says ASCII-ware. And that's the only reason I get ASCII controllers is because it's called ASCII. Although this one does have quite nice make. Moving on even more. Oh, this way. Another ASCII controller for the PlayStation 1. Got this because it's an ASCII controller and that's it. And the shape is interesting. Look at that. The shoulder buttons are really weird. The buttons don't work too great. The D-pad is interesting. It's almost like the Discord logo. Wowee! Can it focus? Yes, it can. Fascinating. And now for the pièce de résistance, or the magnum opus, or swagnum opus, is this Chunky. The ASCII-ware Power Clutch SG. Why did I get this honkin' beast? I got a game called Population, and it requires a cursor. And this can be used as a cursor, and also it's heavy. That's metal. Funny story. Used to have this sitting out on my floor near all my other stuff. And then one night, I kept hearing this. I kept hearing that in the middle of the night while I was laying in bed. And that's freaky. I do believe there was an entity, some sort of game-playing spirit that lingers, or used to linger in my room. Because I was like, get out of here, idiot. Stop pressing my buttons. And then it stopped. Yeah, that was fun, wasn't it? Showed off all the controller sounds. Talked about the button pressing ghost. I think that's it. Look at me, I recorded a video today. The end.